Get on the ground. Get on the ground right now. If you don't get on the ground right now, I'm going to make a video about you. Fine. You leave me no choice. Prepare to be epically owned, noob.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the first video during Vampire Month, a month in which I will comment on vampire media that I've been waiting to review all year. This is of course to celebrate my favourite time of the year, Halloween. As you will know as you clicked on this video, today we're going to be reviewing the infamous Morbius. So without further ado, on with the review. Okay, time for a bit of background. While I am an appreciator of comics and vampires, I have not indulged that much in the Morbius franchise compared to other vampire comic series, aside from his appearances in some of the Spider-Man comics. On top of that, much like in my Good Morning review, I just don't like Jared Leto. I like some of his performances like in American Psycho, Requiem for a Dream or Fight Club, but that's probably because he gets horrifically maimed. In all seriousness, his public persona really irritates me, so I am biased. On the other hand, I love Matt Smith, so it pains me to see his talents wasted in this movie. The film begins with some shots of a helicopter, and Michael Morbius scaring the shit out of some guys who delivered him to this jungle in Costa Rica by cutting his hand and getting vampire bats to swarm him. I'm not sure that this is how that works, but whatever you say, movie. We then cut to 25 years ago, where a 10-year-old Michael meets a boy his age called Lucien, in hospital. Michael gives Lucien the nickname Milo, and the two bond over suffering from the same blood condition and wanting to one day be able to live a normal life.
Best not to be outside when school gets out. Like the original Spartans. We are the few against the many.
This is a line that's repeated throughout the film as some epic deep line or something, especially by Milo, but we'll get to that later on. Milo's machine stops working, and Michael fixes it using a spring from his pen, which prompts their doctor and mentor Nicholas to send him to a school for gifted children. The acting by the child actors here and later on isn't really that bad, the story arc here is just a bit cliché. Michael writes Milo a letter which gets blown away and picked up by some older bullies, who Milo starts a physical fight with that he ends up losing. This kind of shows Milo's highly reactive side, which will come up later, but kids can be pieces of shit, so I do feel bad for him here. Michael grows into an extremely intelligent doctor who refuses his Nobel Prize for his invention of artificial blood. Meanwhile, his colleague Martine Bancroft tells him that she is aware that he has been harvesting bats in order to extract their DNA and splice it with his own to cure his condition. An experiment on a rat which seems to have failed is interrupted by this character, which is implied to have the same condition as Michael and Milo. She's having some kind of arrest and they have to put her in a coma. Don't feel too bad for her though, she's on screen for a few minutes and we never see her again after this. The rat, however, seems to actually have survived the experiment. Michael meets with Milo, who is played by Matt Smith, and is his biggest investor. The two seem to have some kind of brotherly connection, although Milo tells Morbius not to go falling in love with Martine, which I find very sus. Milo is vaguely informed of Michael's experiment, and the dangers of it, both practically and legally, before Michael goes to conduct it on a ship. The experiment sort of goes wrong. The DNA is stabilized, but Michael goes crazy, resulting in numerous mercenaries being ripped apart and exsanguinated, and Martine falls and hits her head. Michael later sees what he's done, wipes the CCTV footage, and sends an SOS before jumping ship, but this incident alerts the FBI and media to this activity, with Michael being the prime suspect. So Michael finds that he needs to feed, so to speak, in order to keep his symptoms at bay. He finds that the artificial blood does so for 6 hours, but that this window is closing and eventually he will have to start feeding on actual blood. He also finds that he now has super speed, strength, flight, and echolocation. You know, all the classic vampire powers. He also says this line:
"What if artificial blood becomes ineffective? What happens if I go without? No blue, no red, nothing."
Which I think might be a reference to The Matrix, but it's not as smart as the writers may have thought it sounded, just because it's been used so many times in other media. Milo visits Michael and gives him some artificial blood, while he is having one of his relapses, causing Milo to realise that Michael has found a way to cure himself. The two argue because Michael does not want to give Milo the serum, which he sees as a curse, but Milo sees as a cure. Again, I kind of do see where Milo is coming from, short-sighted as he is. When you have lived your whole life in pain and suffering, and knowing that you're going to die prematurely, I'm sure that anything seems like a better alternative, especially if you believe that no one can have suffered as much as you have. It's a believable motive. Mulder and Scully interview Martine to no avail, and a nurse who Michael works with is killed in the same manner as the mercenaries. Michael is arrested after he tries to resist the police, but he settles with this after thinking that he probably did kill an innocent person. While being interviewed, Morbius goes all crazy like, "Oh no, the urge," and the police really don't take him seriously? I don't understand why. He's a famous ill doctor who has shown that he now has vampire-like abilities and isn't denying killing anyone. Before they believed it was him. What's so ridiculous about this?
I'm sorry. I'm starting to get hungry. You don't want to see me when I'm hungry.
Did he just... I'm gonna pretend that I didn't hear that line. Milo visits Michael in prison by pretending to be his lawyer. He leaves Michael a bag of blood, as well as leaving his cane behind. This heavily implies to Michael that Milo stole a serum against his wishes. Michael drinks the blood and escapes from his cell, hunting Milo down. To Michael's horror, Milo confesses to him that he was the one who killed the nurse, leading to a showdown in a train station between them, although Michael does run away as he doesn't want to hurt Milo.
Why shouldn't they know what it feels like for a change? Michael! Michael! Michael!
Milo also threatens Martine and is seen staring at her from a distance. Martine and Michael meet up in secret now that Michael is a fugitive, and Michael steals a lab from some thugs. When the leader asks Michael who he is, he responds with this atrocious line.
"Who the hell are you, man?"
I am Venom.
Why did he say this? It's not funny, it seems like a line more suited to Deadpool. While Michael is working at the lab with Martine, Milo is getting ready to go out and does this stupid dance.
Have sex, excel. Put my hands against, put my best against, put my 10.
I don't understand the point of this at all. Why is this in the movie? What does this convey? If it's meant to show that Milo is confident and happy with his new powers, that was already made pretty clear in the train station fight. He was always kind of the aggressive one, he can just act on it properly now, so it's not like he has made some kind of transformation of confidence on top of that. At a bar, Milo is rejected by a girl due to being intimidated by some guys, so he later attacks them as revenge. After the authorities get their hands on the CCTV footage, they believe that Michael's vampirism is spreading. I assume they mean in the classic, demonic, supernatural way, which doesn't make any sense as they have already concluded that Michael is a vampire in a scientific manner, and there is no evidence that he can spread it in the natural way. After recognizing Milo in the CCTV footage, Nicholas goes to talk him out of it, leading to an argument between them, as Milo believes Nicholas has always favored Michael over him. This feels very forced and sort of comes out of nowhere. Apart from sending Michael to school, I don't see why Milo would feel this way. In the flashbacks, Nicholas seems to care for both of them. There was nothing to imply any kind of jealousy between the two of them before this. They seemed pretty close. Michael goes to look for Milo after making a vampire death antibody. He finds Nicholas, who tells him that he must stop Milo before dying. Milo also gravely injures Martine to lure Michael to him, and Michael bites Martine before hunting down Milo. I guess those FBI agents were right. They have this showdown with the crappiest CGI ever put to screen, and Michael gets his bats to swarm Milo. He then stabs Milo with the antibody, and we see the absolute peak of horrible effects. This looks awful. Milo begs for his life, forgiveness, and dies, and Martine awakens as a vampire. We get 2 mid-credit scenes where the Vulture shows up, and I assume this is meant to lead to a sequel, which I'm not going to watch unless I review it. This movie is just a disappointment. There are so many bad references to other franchises, such as the ones I mentioned in this video. I get that Marvel is known for its characters having snarky quips, but it was funny in the beginning. Stop reusing it, it's not funny anymore. It's just lazy and boring. I found the writing around the villain to be particularly bad. As I stated, while Milo was characterized as pretty emotionally reactive, I don't think the route that they went with was the right one. Instead of him being jealous of Nicholas and Michael's relationship, they could have just kept it simple and made him angry that he was missing out on the life he thought he deserved, and that Michael was keeping it from him. I was also very disappointed that there wasn't actually the line, "It's Morbin time," in the movie. I would have much preferred that to the terrible unfunny lines we did get. Jared Leto needs to just stop doing superhero movies. He isn't helping himself and is just digging this hole deeper and deeper. He should have ended it with Suicide Squad. I don't care about whatever contract he signed. He shouldn't have acted like such a massive muppet. Speaking of actors, as I said earlier, I feel really bad for Matt Smith. I think he's a good actor based on what I've seen of him in other stuff. I first saw him as the 11th Doctor like a lot of people, and I find it really funny because a villain in classic era Doctor Who was also called Morbius. Look it up, guys! Funny how life works like that, huh? Now for the elephant in the room. The horrific, appalling special effects. It isn't an uncommon visual for vampires to have a human face and to have a vampire face, which is what I assume they were going for in this movie. I understand that they're trying to make it look like the comic book art, and Marvel is supposed to be known for good effects, so why does this look so bad? The vampires in Buffy look so much better, and that was a TV show from 20 years ago. The practical effects featured in this movie are actually pretty good as well. Other than my film commentary, I'm sure you have noticed that I'm drawing Mavis in the background. This is because for Vampire Month, I plan on drawing a famous vampire for every video. I hope you like it. Well, that's all for this video. Be sure to follow me on social media, as they are all linked in the description box below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and to leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching.
Spooky for you. Too spooky for you.